Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another season of Beantown vs. Big Apple Sports. I'm your host, Nico Levasseur, joined once again by my co-hosts Reed Becker and Alex Green. Today we'll be discussing the New England Patriots, New York Giants, and New York Jets as the NFL season is underway. Starting with the Giants, Reed, how did the Giants look in Week 1, and what are your expectations for the rest of the season?
So the Giants won their first game at the Titans. They stayed close the entire game, and the defense looked good up until the end, when typically the other team, like the Titans, drive down the field into field goal range. But Big Blue won thanks to a missed field goal at the very end. So as of airtime, the Giants are 1-0, and the players, as you can see from Week 1, bought into new head coach Brian Daboll's philosophy right now. Overall, this season, though, it's a big prove-it year for Daniel Jones, the quarterback, as is a new regime with general manager Joe Shane, who came over from Buffalo and did not draft him. Same can be said for running back Saquon Barkley, who has not been able to stay healthy, and it's not Joe Shane's guy. I do not expect the Giants to be a playoff team, though. I do not fully believe in Daniel Jones, and I think that this will be his last year in New York, and the front office came in with a very tough situation with the cap. They had to readjust it thanks to a lot of problems from former general manager Dave Gettleman, and had to let go of talented guys such as cornerback James Bradbury, who went on to sign with the rival Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting season for the Giants. They won Week 1. I didn't think they were going to win Week 1, but it seems like this is kind of like the last year Daniel Jones has. He's had a lot of chances, and this is like, it seems like new head coach, new system, new ownership, new general manager. This is like his last chance to kind of prove that he is the quarterback for the Giants in the future.
Yeah, I think he'll be gone, and I think Saquon will be gone. I think it was a big mistake to draft him number 2 overall, and typical, as usual, with the Giants, their defense falls apart towards the end. So, what's new?
So, guys, I'm impressed that the Giants were able to win their first game, and if they want to continue winning, there are definitely some players who are going to have to step up. Staying in MetLife, Reed, how did the Jets fare in Week 1, and what do you expect from them this season?
Well, they made the Giants look like the Patriots with Tom Brady, compared to how the Jets played. Jets lost in Week 1 to the Baltimore Ravens 24-9 as of airtime. The big story, so they're 1-0. But the big story is Zach Wilson with the Jets. He tore his meniscus along with a bone bruise back in a preseason game versus the Philadelphia Eagles. So as of right now, Joe Flacco is starting under center for gangrene. The Jets also lost Mekhi Becton during training camp thanks to a right kneecap fracture, which will likely keep him out for the year. I expect the Jets to finish, as usual, last in the AFC East yet again, as they're already banged up and don't really have enough talent, to say the least. Plus, there's a big question mark at the quarterback position, even with a healthy Zach Wilson. We talk about Daniel Jones being on the clock. I think the same could start to be said about Zach Wilson.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach Wilson, he had a really bad year his rookie year. New season again. Kind of not a new head coach, but just another year under that offense for the Jets. Some decent weapons in New York. Decent O line, good draft for the Jets, but seeing him get injured in week before the season even starts is kind of a big blow because I thought the Jets could have had like a Lions type season from last year. They could have maybe not had the best record, but been close in a lot of games and maybe showed the rest of the NFL that hey. They're on the rise and they're on the come up.
They still got a lot of holes, though. And, I mean, even if you look back at Zach Wilson last year, you have the O-line excuse, which I feel like is every team's excuse, but he couldn't even hit, like, the check down. So, it'll be interesting.
Guys, it seems to me that the Jets are still in the rebuild mode and need to make some big roster upgrades this upcoming offseason. Moving over to Gillette, Alex, what are the Patriots? How the Patriots offseason like, and how do they translate on the field in Week 1? What do you think?
Yeah, so the Patriots had a very interesting offseason, to say the least. I think the biggest loss for them was that they lost their number one cornerback, J.C. Jackson, in the offseason. He was signed by the Los Angeles Chargers, and they brought in Malcolm Butler to replace him, but he got injured before the season even started. And then they signed Devontae Parker as well to kind of upgrade their receiving corps, but they still, in my opinion, don't have a true wide receiver number one. And they had a very interesting draft class for the Patriots. They drafted Cole Strange in the first round, which a lot of rival executives and other fans thought it was a reach. They drafted Bailey Zappi when they already have Mac Jones as kind of the future quarterback, and then they have Brian Hoyer So maybe they just think that Zappi is going to be a backup, but they had other positions of need as well. And then they drafted Pierre Strong, who, again, not a bad pick, was kind of one of the fastest running backs in the draft, but just had other positions I thought that personally they needed upgrading. And speaking of the quarterback play, going back to Mac Jones, they're expecting him to step up this season after a strong rookie season from last year. And they lost former offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels to the Las Vegas Raiders. Matt Patricia was the offensive coordinator in Week 1, and it did not look good. The Patriots struggled on offense versus Miami, only scoring 7 points en route to a 20-7 loss. So, in my opinion, the Patriots are the third best team in the AFC East behind Miami and Buffalo, and it's going to be an underwhelming season, in my opinion, for the Patriots fans and what they're used to.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Miami and Buffalo are well ahead of them. I mean, you look at what happened in Miami, the offense couldn't score points, but also I look at the defense too. I mean, what about, again, missed tackles and Tyreek Hill couldn't be stopped. There's a lot of holes on this Patriots team. And you talk about Matt Patricia. What's next? Is Joe Judge going to come in and play calls and go from the 1 yard line on their own end and do a quarterback sneak?
Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting with that offensive coordinator situation in Gillette right now.
Guys, I was very disappointed the Patriots lost their first game, but I hope they can turn things around and get a few wins later on in the season. That's all the time we have for today. Join us next episode when we'll be discussing the Celtics, Nets, and Knicks. Thanks for watching.